The United Nations has called on the Saudi-led coalition to open an aid lifeline into Yemen. This will allow importation of food and medicine for over 7 million Yemenis who are facing starvation. The coalition, which is fighting a Houthi insurgency, said on Monday that it is closing air, land and sea entries into the Arabian Peninsula. Currently, many humanitarian organizations, including the UN, have no access into the country due to the blockade. The spokesman for the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, together with that of the World Health Organization, also called for medical aid to combat a cholera outbreak ravaging many regions of Yemen. So far, 2,194 people have died from the disease.
The situation is catastrophic in Yemen. It's the worst food crisis we are looking at in the world today. 7 million people on the brink of famine, millions of people being kept alive by our humanitarian operation. So this is a lifeline that must be continued every single day.
As you know, the situation in Yemen is really very bad. It's also battling a very serious cholera outbreak. Since months, we are trying to stop it. We are seeing some progress in the decrease in cases, especially in cases of death. But not having access to all the government of Yemen will certainly impact our operation to provide treatment, prevention, help to Yemenis.
Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has called Iran's rocket supply to Houthi militias in Yemen a direct military aggression. On Saturday, Saudi air defense intercepted a ballistic missile fired towards Riyadh from Yemen. The Saudi official news agency reports that Prince Salman told the British Foreign Minister that Iran's move could be considered an act of war. Let's discuss this further with CGTN's Yasser Hakim, who now joins us live from Cairo. Yasser, how much concern is there in the region about the recent twists and turns in Yemen and how they could alter the region conflict?
Yes, the situation in Yemen, and if you put in context the latest the rocket that was launched targeting the Riyadh airport, King Khalid airport in Riyadh. Now this is another major twist, if you may call it. It brings back the whole issue into an escalation. There were hopes that maybe there would be some kind of a peaceful solution, but this rocket seems to have turned things around. It's a direct danger to Riyadh, the capital itself, and major strategic locations such as the airport, which shows that Saudi Arabia is not far from danger with this rocket. And the reason why Saudi Arabia has accused Iran, although Houthis have done it, is because Iran has been supporting the Houthis in Yemen financially and with military aid, and the Saudis are saying that the Houthis don't have the means to launch such a sophisticated and long-range missile that can reach more than 900 kilometers. So at this point, they believe that the Houthis are being given these weapons from Iran. So Iran is indirectly, and in this context, directly at aggression with Saudi Arabia. And since the launch, there's been dozens of air raids by the Arab coalition on Sana'a and other areas where Houthi hideouts or military bases are located. There's been a crackdown on Houthi leaders and money being given or promised to anyone who would lead to one of the main Houthi leaders, $30 million on the head of Abdul Malik al-Houthi. And on the same day, just an hour ago, two of the Houthi leaders were killed in bomb raids, in air raids, one in East Sana'a and another in Aden. So there is an escalation, as you can see, and we expect more from the Arab coalition and Saudi Arabia in particular, maybe in the next few days.
Now, yes, so several African nations are part of that Saudi-led coalition in Yemen. The conflict there has been quite protracted. Is there a sense that they're still committed to that cause?
It's been like 2.5 years now. I'll give you just names of some of these countries from Africa. We're talking about Egypt, Morocco, Mauritania, Sudan, Senegal, and Somalia. And their support is wide-ranging. It's not all the same. So we've got Egypt, for example, has 4 warships and 16 jets, fighters. Morocco has 6 fighter jets. Sudan, 4 fighter jets and 6,000 soldiers. While Somalia, for example, does help, but with non-combat operations. For example, allowing the air and sea access for Arab coalition, as well as providing its military bases to be used by the coalition in the time of attacks on Yemen. So they are wide-ranging and they are different also. If you look at Egypt, for example, Egypt has been increasing its involvement in this conflict recently, while countries like Sudan or Senegal and Somalia have not been as interfering as before. It's a long and protracted situation, like you said. It's also expensive for some countries to be continuing on this path, especially that many African countries and ones that are involved have their own issues, have their whole problems with either terrorism issues or internal conflict, and cannot really be able to continue on the path. However, what we can see from the ones who are having more of a say, the Gulf countries in the Arab coalition, they're giving more to this conflict and to the Arab military involvement than others, especially in Africa.
All right. Yasser Hakim in Cairo, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you.